Please welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
Good morning. Cardigan season. That's what we got going on. Happy Friday. We made it, y'all. Fun night of basketball, sort of. I mean, if you were in like the fantasy streets at all, it's very high scoring, a lot of high scoring stuff. So that was fun. Excited to talk about it. Excited to chit chat about the basketballs. And then just, forget that. No business yet. Let's see who's here. We got Maddie Harrison. Good morning. Sneeps is here. Keeper, what's up? Happy National Personal Space Day, says Snoop. Snoop, I forget, what was yesterday's? I thought yesterday's was similar, Snoop. Are you slipping, Snoop? No, I'm just kidding. It's probably not. Good to see you. Joker Rock's here. Stubbs, good morning. Ian up in here. We got the common man, the regulator, and Joker Rock letting us know only 18 more days until the return of John Morant. So today we have some fun stuff, right? We have at 2 p.m. It's a little bit of a time change. Used to be 3 p.m. Now it's 2 p.m. 2 p.m. the Underdog Happy Hour. We're going to build some pick'ems for tonight's NBA action, do some drafts, maybe just like look at best ball a little bit, see how we're doing, all that fun stuff. And then at 5:30 p.m. over on the Team Hold So Rare channel, right? Our other So Rare channel. Or our other Team Hold channel, excuse me. We've got Live Before Lock at 5:30. We've got TST. We've got the return of George St. Ledger. And we're going to talk about some of the So Rare updates, but mostly just focusing on projections, injury news, building lineups, giving away cards, all of that fun stuff. So, just to say, very appreciative of everyone being here all week long. A lot of stuff we had, a lot of stuff going on. And that was good. Also, playback tonight. We got playback tonight, Sneeps. Also, last NBA bit at the age of 38. How about that? How about them Cowboys? Congrats to Cowboys fans last night. I think, one other thing I want to shout out. I've been messing around a little bit. I think I'm going to use the Team Hold Sports channel, right? That's the second channel we created. What are we doing? Numbers here? I'm like DK Metcalf after scoring a touchdown. We're going to, I'm just messing around a little bit. So we put a little like 3.5-minute Şengün video up. I'm going to try to get a Brunson one video up today as well. Just kind of messing around with some faceless stuff and see how it goes, see how it goes. So as always, just engage with that shit. Even if you don't like it, keep it, just turn the volume down. I don't know. So go check that out. But all right, I think that's it for business-related stuff. Click all the links, all that fun stuff. Let's talk about last night's basketball. Also, Ian's letting us know we have Celtics-Philly tonight. I know, and Embiid is questionable, which kind of stinks. He's still a little sick, I believe, unless that's changed since then. But let's get started. Is JB Bickerstaff going to get fired this weekend? Cavs, right? Cleveland, they bring in Donovan Mitchell last year. Evan Mobley starting, he's doing some stuff. You got Jared Allen, have a really solid year, finish in the top 4. They host a playoff series and then get waxed by the Bing Bong Boys of New York. And then it's like, you know what, though? First time in the playoffs, we've got the meme of Jared Allen. The lights are too bright. They're coming back this year. There's some questions about whether Donovan is going to re-sign. He's probably not. So this may be, 1 or 2 years left of Donovan Mitchell as the Cleveland Cavalier. And they are just stumbling out of the gates. And I think last night was pretty embarrassing. And, sometimes you sleep on teams, Maybe if this game was in Portland, you'd be like, gosh, they were traveling, PTSD. I don't mean PTSD. Jet lag. Confusing PTSD and jet lag is wild. They're a little jet lagged. They're a little sleepy. They can't get up for the game. They should roll over the Blazers, and they don't, right? That happens sometimes. We see that. Back-to-backs. Maybe it's a scheduled loss, something like that. I guess Cleveland was it a back-to-back for Cleveland? Either way, you can't lose to Portland. Portland is scrappy now that they're somewhat healthy, but my God, I don't know how you lose to the Portland Trail Blazers at home in this environment. At 103-95, and honestly, it didn't feel that close. Like an 8-point gap, didn't even feel that close. For Portland, they got the Shaedon Sharpe game. I feel like we haven't seen a Shaedon Sharpe monster performance in a while. He was really the only one that popped for Portland in that game. Big double-double, 29 points, 10 and 5. Mitchell, man, I don't want to go down this Donovan Mitchell road again, but 23, 7 and 6. He had 4 steals, and then Evan Mobley had 28 and 3. The sample size is pretty large. It's pretty large now on the Donovan Mitchell experience. We don't have Rudy Gobert to blame anymore, right? There's no it's Rudy. It's Rudy. He doesn't like playing in Utah. Who would like playing in Utah? And now this is a pretty good environment for him. And it's another time where we're just seeing him. I think Bill Simmons actually talked about it this morning. I half listened to that while I was making coffee about does he make those around him better? And whatever. This is like a game in the end of November, right? I don't know. I don't think we need to really freak out about it, but we've just seen it. We've seen it time and again. And Donovan Mitchell is good, not great. And which seems nuts, right? Because he puts up all of these stats, but there's a lot of great guards right now in the league, right? And when you look at them, I think he's like slowly. I keep saying slipping because I listened to 5 minutes of Tandy yesterday. He said slipping like 48 times. Shout out Tandy. But I you think about SGA, Luka, Steph, Fox, LaMelo. I don't know. Weird obsession with Donovan. If he was on the Heat, they win the title. So Stan, you agree with me? If he was the third best player on a good team, he'd win a title. All right, I think we're saying the same thing. I agree with you, Stan. If Donovan Mitchell was the third best player on the team, you'd have a chance to win a title. Tesla says, can't wait for my Evan Bag Mobley update. Don't forget he was also second in Defensive Player of the Year voting. I mean, he's still been a good defensive player. He's still been a good defensive player. No? I think, Tesla, you know what I think? I think you have to focus on this because of what the up and downs of Scotty Barnes. I think you just have to focus on it. But anyways, yeah, but Stan, you and I are on the same page. If Donovan Mitchell was the third best player on the team, they'd be NBA champs. Replace him with Murray. Denver wins all the same. Yeah, but maybe. I'm still taking Jamal Murray over Donovan Mitchell, though. All right, let's keep going. I think JB Bickerstaff gets fired soon. I think they. All right, what's their record right now? Their record is the Cavs, I believe, are they below 500? It feels like they win one, lose one, win one, lose one. They're one game over 500, 10 and 9. I just wonder. I wonder if they shake things up a little bit with Bickerstaff. There you go. Anyways, let's keep going. Hornets and Nets. This ended up being a barn burner. So LaMelo's going to be out for a little bit of time. I saw Regulator put in the chat, who's back first, Ja or LaMelo? I think it's Ja. It seems like LaMelo's going to miss some time. And probably, speaking of doing time, Miles Bridges last night had 22, 9, and 4. No, I'm sorry. That was Mikal. We had the battle of the Bridges. Miles Bridges had 23 and 5. Gordon Hayward, solid game, 22, 6, and 6. Mark Williams had a double-double. He had 12 and 12. But my man, Scary Terry Rozier, said, I'm ready. He dropped 37 and 13. 37 and 13. And it was funny because he actually got off to a slow start. I feel like we are returning to last year's early So Rare days where Bryce McGowan's he was starting for the Hornets, and I think he got like 9 points in his first rotation or something like that. And And then all of a sudden, I was like, wow, did I really get fooled? Because I played a lot of Scary Terry and Underdog. And then Terry just went nuts and then went ham again in the fourth quarter. Fun game, though. Fun back and forth game between two middling teams. Listen, I'll give the Hornets a little bit of credit, man. They might be losing a lot. I don't like the vibes down there in general, but that they fight, man. I mean, clearly Miles Bridges does, but they fight. They're out there battling, and a good win for them. Cam Thomas is back, though. Let's give some Cam Thomas love. Great interview with him on Old Man in the Three with JJ Redick. He was really funny, kind of not funny, but talking about how he there's a great clip going around about how he tries to get ready when he's coming off the bench and how his minutes were all yanked around last season. Last night was his first night back. And he came in and dropped 26 off the bench right away. Nicholas Claxton, baby, he had 20 and 14. And then the other Bridges, Mikal Bridges, the one who hasn't hit a woman, he had 22, 9, and 4. So anyways, good win for the CLT. Yeah, regulator said Hornets play hard, just not smart sometimes. I think that's good. I wonder where is Gordon Hayward going to be on a different team in February is something I wonder. All right, Stan, let's go, baby. Let's flex this out a little bit. Hashtag Heat Culture. Let's go. Big dub for Miami. They got Jimmy Buckets back. High scoring game because that's the only way Indiana plays. Heat win 142 to 132. Pacers got off to a hot start. They were running up and down the floor, knocking down shots. Miami couldn't get anything going in that first or at the beginning of the first quarter. Bam gets dinged up in this game. I don't know. I haven't seen a report of how serious it was. It was a weird, I don't know if like just wires were crossed or whatever, but he goes into the locker room with like 3 or 4 minutes left in the first half. Then at halftime, a report comes out, Bam's returning to the game. He's going to start the second half. And then they were like, JK, LOL, LMAO, ROFL. That Tommy Bryant was going to start for him the second half. So, for for Miami to get that W with no Bam, I mean, man, they're just built for just next man up shit. It's like the Bill Belichick. In the 50s, Bill Belichick. But anyways, he with the win. Tyrese Halliburton, we'll start with him just because his stat line was the most impressive, dude. He is 44 and 10 last night. 44 points and 10 dimes from Tyrese Halliburton. And every time it felt like Miami pulled away, Hallie's like 3 and 1. His shooting percentages are wild right now. So he's averaging 27 points and almost 12 assists. He's shooting 51% from 52% from the field, 44.7% from 3. It is nuts and I mean, he's taking them. Like he took 16 again, 6 for 16 last night, 3 for 6 the night before, 5 for 13 the night before that, 5 for 10, 9 for 15. Like Halliburton is amazing right now. He's playing such good basketball. And I mean, that team is him. Like Obi Toppin is relevant, I think, because of the pace in which they play. I mean, Buddy Hield's been way up and down, and he was up when I didn't roster him and So Rare, and then when I roster him, he's down. Miles Turner has some spike games, sure, but I mean, this team is Halliburton. It is. He's incredible. Hallie is just so freaking good. And for him to be shooting like those high percentages at such high volume, and also like the lack of turnovers that this man has, right? He had 2 last night, 3 the night before that, 1 before that, 3 before that. He did have 6 against that Hawks in that crazy Hawks game, but like he's averaging on, let me find this number. He's averaging 2.5 turnovers, almost 12 assists to 2.5 turnovers a game. That is crazy. Yeah. And also I agree with this Tesla. Big middle finger to shooting mechanics. Yeah. It's not pretty, but he said, who cares? Who cares? Loved it. Oh, Snoopaloop. We were right, dude. Honestly, Snoopaloop, I don't want you to see that. I want you to take that as me calling you out about it being the same day as it was yesterday. But I just want you to know that I care, that I read this every single day and I take it in. So it is Happy National Bartender Day, which we can serve up some drinks at happy hour today at 2 p.m. Halliburton has Sean Marion shooting vibes. That's great. That's really good. All right, we talked enough about Hallie in a loss, so let's keep moving. Toppin did drop 25. Jimmy Butler returned, baby, 36 and 11. Really picked it up when Bam went down. And then, man, listen, I know the Rookie of the Year conversation is Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama, but each and every day, Jaime Jaquez puts himself closer to the podium. He's not going to win it. There's no world in which he wins it unless both of those guys get hurt or miss a considerable amount of time, right? I mean, the real conversation is Chet Holmgren putting up these numbers on a good team versus Wemby and the Spurs, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But Jaime Jaquez, man, he's just a dog. 24-5 off the bench for them. I feel like he can just do whatever Miami needs. He's just like the quintessential Heat culture player. Makes everybody around him, does like the dirty stuff, you know? And he's going to be a rotation guy on a really good team. Yeah, first team rook. I would say third in rookie of the year right now. Third in rookie of the year. I don't even know who else would be in the conversation. Oscar Thompson, which we'll talk about in a second. But he's just been awesome, man. He's been really, really good. Anyways, good win for Miami. Bing bong. Let's do it. Knicks and Pistons. Let's get that drop, baby.
Detroit basketball. Detroit basketball. Detroit.
Wow, Detroit basketball. They got no wins in the month of November. The same amount of wins that you in the chat, anybody listening to this or watching it later, we all together as a community got the same amount of wins as the Detroit Pistons in November. 0 wins. And Detroit actually played okay last night. They actually knocked some shots down. But I would like to, Adam Silver, Joe Dumars, whoever we need to talk to, I need someone to investigate Monty Williams. What is going on? I'm not saying if he rolled out his whatever starting 5 that they'd win games. Oscar Thompson last night played, where is it? Oscar Thompson played 13 minutes, did not start, came off the bench. Jaden Ivey played 13 minutes. Listen, if you're not going to win games, right? If you have no shot at winning games this season, if you're going to be, just play your guys, play your young guys. I just don't understand. And I know Oscar Thompson came off the bench relatively. I think Sasser got in before him, and then it was him maybe, or maybe Burks. Burks was the first guard off, and then Thompson came into the game. And Thompson did rack up some fouls. So maybe that's why. But the Ivy stuff I don't get. Especially because Ivy played okay. Maybe they're like, hey, Ivy's tired. They had 3 games in the last 4 nights. I don't know. It's pretty bleak. Now, Cade, stat-wise, had a solid game, right? 31-8. All right, Maddie's saying Cade played more off the ball and had one of his best games offensively. And this is exactly what I was going to say. 31-8, but still had 7 turnovers. And that needs to get cleaned up. And maybe it's because he's trying to do too much because he's looking around and he's like, I guess I'm passing it to Isaiah Livers. Killian Hayes had 23-4. I already talked about how Oscar and Ivy didn't play. Sasser is kind of nice coming off the bench. He had 17 off the bench and pretty efficient shooting. But they couldn't stop anybody. I mean, Brunson had 42, 8, and 6. It felt like he was going to go for 60. 42, 8, and 6, just stepping into everything. And then Julius Randle, again, man, 29, 10, and 8. Well, you're absolutely right.
Regular season Randall.
I wanted to see what Jalen Brunson's 3-point percentage is because it feels like he's not missing at all. So Brunson is a career 39% free 3-point shooter, 39.6. This season, 48%. 48%. Last night he went 7 for 12. The game before that, 2 for 5. He had a 5 for 10 game against Phoenix, 1 for 4, 3 for 6. So it's not like he's taking 2 a game and hitting 1. Brunson is cooking. Anyways, Detroit sucks. That's the takeaway. Detroit's real bad. All right. Tesla said, is it because they think the vets can get them 1 win to stop the streak? Maybe. And in that same note, Boyan is back on Saturday. Boyan's back on Saturday. He's going to play till the new year, and then he's going to be like, see ya. I imagine Boyan's going to go somewhere else. But anyways, Brunson's been awesome. The Knicks are beating some teams. Good win for them. All right, I feel like the Milwaukee Bucks heard our show yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever the last time we talked about Milwaukee was. And they had a conversation in the locker room before the game, and they said, you know what? Mike Zakarian is right. we're a weird team and we're not very good, even though our record is good. And I tweeted this out last night. Has a team ever had a better record and looked worse than the Milwaukee Bucks? The Chicago Bulls, who have the vibes of Satan, were without DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine last night. Their starting five looked like, it was just names. Caruso and Vooch, cool. Patty Wills, Io, and Kobe White. And then somehow Chicago wins this game 120 to 113. I think what was crazier too, like we've talked about this a bunch of times, but Milwaukee's down basically the whole game. Basically the whole game in the fourth quarter, down 5 with I think like 30 seconds left or whatever. Giannis has a big time steal and then I think an assist to a dunk, or maybe dunks it. I can't remember. Brolo comes down with a little bit of time. I think like 5 seconds left, knocks down a 3, gives them a 1-point lead. Because I think the bucket was an and one. I forget what it was, but anyways, they come storming back. They take the lead, and it's like, okay, this is what happens. The good teams prevail. Yes, they like realized in the last minute they needed to clamp down. And then with 4 seconds left, the Bulls get the ball. Down 3. They are down 3 at this point, and they don't foul. And it's not like that Chet Holmgren play against the Golden State Warriors where it was like 1.8 seconds left. Chet has to catch, turn, and shoot all in one motion. You can't foul that guy, because he's going to be in the shooting motion. There's 4 seconds left in this one. How, like Adrian Griffin, if it's either Adrian Griffin's fault for not instructing his team to do it, or their team doesn't listen to Adrian Griffin, and he was like, you got to do this, and we didn't. But I don't understand how you don't foul there. Like, how do you even let him get a shot off? Anyways, Caruso is him. We know this. Knocks down a 3, sends it to overtime, and then they just dominate him in overtime, and that was it. That was it. So good win for Chicago. Just a weird bad loss from Milwaukee. Giannis had 26 and 14 with 5 assists. He also had a combined 7 stocks, blocks, and steals. Middleton had 9 points in 27 minutes. Brolo 20 and 4. Dame had 18 and 13. Malik Beasley got 19. Their starting 5 all scored outside of Middleton. And then Vucci Mane carried the torch, 29, 10, and 6 for Chicago. And then Kobe White, who has been a bright spot, had 23 and 7 for him. Tesla saying DeRozan and LaVine were the problem. Can we talk about Caruso being a number 1 option on a championship team? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. But listen, there's nothing good about Chicago. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, dude, if they just get rid of LaVine and DeRozan, the Bulls are back. Like, it's not that. That's not the takeaway. That was an embarrassing loss for Milwaukee. And maybe they need to just shit the bed here for a month to wake themselves up or whatever. And I know, like, listen, they're freaking, 13 and 6. They've only lost 6 games this entire season. They're 8 and 2 in their last 10. So for me to come out here and just say that they're terrible is dumb. I get that. But when you look at the teams that they have beaten, and like especially this last run, right, where they beat the Raptors, they beat the Bulls by 9, they lose to the Magic, they lose to the Pacers. Oh no, I'm going in the wrong direction. I apologize. They lose to the Bulls. They beat the Heat. That was a good win against Miami, even though Miami's without Jimmy Butler. They come back from 26 against the Trailblazers. They beat the Wizards by 3. They lose to the Celtics. They beat the Wizards again in a close game. They beat the Mavericks, which was a good one. And then it's like Hornets, Raptors, Bulls. I just don't trust this team. I think it's weird. Where will Zach end up? LaVine. Yeah, LaVine didn't play last night. I don't know. I don't know who's interested in LaVine. I know like there's, the Lakers, I think, came out and said, actually, no, thank you. Hard pass on LaVine. That they were more interested in DeFrozen or Alex Caruso. I think Caruso is probably the player that gets the most back for them. Like, I don't know. Does LaVine, like, what team, again, I did this last week, I think. What team wants LaVine right now? Like, what team gets better by adding Zach LaVine? That is like, what championship-esque team gets better by adding Zach LaVine? I feel like if you're already in that upper echelon of teams, like, I don't, like, do the Lakers get better by adding Zach LaVine? Like, that's not the problem. I don't know. I think it'd be a huge mistake for almost any of these teams to go after him. I guess Miami is interesting, but would Miami want to blow their wad on that? I don't know. Yeah, LaVine to the Wizards would be perfect. Yeah, that's what I mean. I saw talk of like Charlotte making a move for him or something, or Detroit if they're trying to win games. But I know Philly was on the table. I think that'd be such a dumb move for Philly. I don't know. And maybe I just drink too much LaVine. Haterade. But I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I guess the bull case for it, look at that, is that he's Devin Booker, right? That he's just been, his teams have been bad that he's been on. But we get like I mean, how long has Levine been in the league, right? He's been here for a while now. It's been a while. He's been in the league for 9 years. I mean, I think we know. We know. Yeah, and he costs too much to be a third guy. 40 million, man. 40 million. He's like a poor man's Bradley Beal. That's what we're looking at. All right. Wolves beat the Jazz 101-90. Let's get some Minnesota love up in here. The first place Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota Timberwolves. Now 14-4, 10 games above 500, winners of 3 in a row, 8-2 in their last 10. The Jazz are terrible. I know there was some buzz. Around Lauri Markkanen yesterday, being like, if the Jazz keep going down this road, maybe Lauri Markkanen gets moved. I mean, I don't think there was like no one's surprised that the Jazz are bad, so I can't imagine that this is like a new revelation. If they were thinking about moving Lauri, they were already thinking about it. It was not like recent play that decided that for him. But their leading scorer last night, again, Lauri sit. Their leading scorer was Simone Fontecchio. Shout out the No Dunks crew. Simone Fontecchio with 16 whole points. Just a weird-ass game, man. A weird-ass game from them. Minnesota did not have Anthony Edwards. It sounds like he might miss another game or two, but it's not super serious, which is good. But Karl Anthony Towns stepped up, had 32, 11, and 4. Revenge Rudy against his old team, had a double-double of 15 and 13. But the real story, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Team hold was just a couple years late on the rush, baby. Shout out Canada, 20 and 7, had 5 steals, shot 4 for 8 from 3. Big dubs. Congrats to the Timberwolves. Fun seeing them continuing to win. Speaking of the Lake Show, OKC, the Thunder, Lightning, and the Thunder. They beat the Lakers 133-110. Lakers are on a back-to-back. They had 3 games this game week, I think. So, like, I said game week like it's so rare. It was like 3 games in 4 nights. So, I'm not going to freak out about it if you're the Lakers. They dropped this game, moved to 11-9. Anthony Davis continues to put up just like monster stat line after monster stat line. I think we're just we can't give Anthony Davis any credit. I was on a text thread with some friends who were just slandering AD a bunch. And I mean, AD, since coming to the Lakers, he's won a championship. And then he was like the best player on their Western Conference Finals run last year. And they lost to the Nuggets, who won the championship. AD's been, and I know he disappears sometimes. And I know he's going to like tweak a hammy now that I've said this and missed 3 weeks. But AD's been like a monster. He's been a monster. There is a great clip. We made a short of it today, too. Chet Holmgren just cooking Anthony Davis. But SGA, again, 33, 7, and 4. Second leading scorer, though, for the Thunder was J-Dub last night at 21, 7, and 5. And then Chet Holmgren at 18 and 5. LeBron, 21, 12, and 6. Another story coming out of the game, and I don't know why everyone is reporting this. It was just, they were like, LeBron James has informed the organization and his teammates that when Bronny makes his debut for the USC basketball team, he might miss a game. And it's like, yeah, okay. Why is that news? Yeah, he's a good dad. He's a good dad. His son went through like a traumatic heart injury or medical scare. Now he's coming back. He's going to play his first collegiate game. Yeah. Why is that news? Yeah, I think it just shows how bad everyone else is at being a parent. Like everyone's like, holy shit. It's like, well, come on. Real quick though, OKC, give them a little bit more love. They are now 6 games over 500, 12 and 6, 7 and 3 in their last 10. They're sitting in 3rd place. It's all jammed up though. You got the Nuggets at 13 and 6, OKC at 12 and 6, and then Mavs at 11-6, Suns 11-7. All pretty close over there. Real quick, let's see. Tesla saying, wild thing about Nas, he had like 4 different coaches in the first few years in the league. Good to see him balling under a little consistency. Yeah. And I wonder too, like we saw some signs of this at the end of last season, right? Where he'd get a little run and he'd be doing some good stuff for them. I also wonder too, just like playing real minutes in FIBA with Team Canada, how much that impacted his confidence. But yeah, shout out Nah, man. Good to see that. All right, excuse me. 2 games left. ATL, A-Town down. Hawks win 137-135. weird ending to this game. Offensive firepower. We talk a lot about Indiana Pacers just scoring a ton, and so their opponents score a ton. Just watch the Atlanta Hawks too, because they are like in a close second place here. But at the end of the game, we'll get into the stats in a second. At the end of the game, Jeremy's Spurs are down 2 with I think only like 10 seconds left or something like that. Sohan comes out, rips the ball away on the inbound pass, clear lane, driving up. Trey slides in at the end and then flops his ass off. Like top 10 flop. Like real Marcus Smart, Kyle Lowry energy. Sohan should have been going to the line to tie this game up. They call it a charge. That's a wrap. Atlanta saves himself from an embarrassing home L. Trey was incredible. Trey had 45 points, 14 assists, and 4 rebounds. It felt like he went to the line 40 times. Like he was really, really good. DeJounte Murray had 24 and 5, and then Bogdan dropped 14 off the bench. Wemby had 21 and 12 with 6 stocks. Devin Vassell only played 27 minutes. He's still coming off the bench. Greg Popovich, please free Devin Vassell. Went 8 for 14 from the field, 25, 4 and 4. And then Keldon Big Body at 22, 11 and 3. And then we got a Jeremy Sohan game. I feel like everybody has been down on Sohan, rightfully so. I mean, they're having him play point guard, and he's not a point guard. He had a really good game, though, stat-wise anyways. He had 33 points, 8 boards, 8 dimes, 6 boards. Had a really beautiful dime in the fourth quarter. Found cutting Zach Collins was real pretty. But I guess I don't even want to say good win for Atlanta. You know, they beat the Spurs, man. I just wish I don't want to be like the same. Oh, we get him a point guard. Get Wemby a point guard. But honestly, get him a point guard. They're taking the fun out of it. I know it's not about me, but it's not fun. It's not fun right now. Bring the fun back. And the last game of the night, the Clippers, this is what I'm going to start with. I'm not even going to tell you the score. The craziest thing to me this start of the season, we were making fun of Kawhi Leonard. He's like, yeah, I'm probably going to play every single game this year. We're like, okay, Kawhi. Kawhi, Paul George, and James Harden all played both games of a back-to-back, which hasn't happened in Clipperland since 1942. Not only that, they played 37 minutes last night. On a back-to-back. I can't believe it. Golden State gets the W, though. The real story coming out of the Bay Area is Andrew Wiggins missed the game last night because he's a cartoon character. He slammed his finger in his car door. And all I could picture is like Looney Tunes or Wile E. Coyote. Like the door slams, finger, and then he's like, ah! Right? Like that's all I could hear when I read that story. So Wiggins didn't play last night because he slammed his hand in a car door. One of us. But anyways, Golden State got a much needed win. The vibes were weird there. Steph had 26, 8 and 7. Clay with another 20 plus point performance. He had 22 and 6. Kuminga had 17 and 6 off the bench. Looks like Chris Paul might miss another game or two, I think they said, but not too serious. Moody got the start. So there we go. Steve Kerr. I tweeted out when they announced that Chris Paul was going to be out that Steve Kerr was going to have to go deep in his bag to not play Moses Moody, but that's what he does. On the Clipper side of things, Paul George, another poor shooting performance from him. So that was tough. He had 15 and 10, 3 for 10 from 3. Kawhi had 23 and 7, and James Harden had 18 and 7. Also give Russ a little love. He had a double-double off the bench, 14, 11, and 6. That was last night's NBA action, baby. We hit it all. 33 minutes for tonight. What are the games we have tonight? What kind of sexy stuff do we have? Smaller Friday night slate. NBA's messing with the schedule vibes. Normally, there's 2 games on Thursday. And then like 45 on Friday. Nish, not this week. Philly and Boston on the worldwide leader, 7:30 ESPN. Wizards and Magic, God vomit. Raptors and the New York Knickerbockers. Knicks are on the second game of back-to-back. You got Memphis against the Dallas Mavericks. Spurs on a back-to-back against Zion Williamson. And then Denver and Phoenix square off tonight at 10 o'clock. I believe Jamal Murray is questionable. I wonder if they sit him to really ease him back in. But that is tonight's NBA action. Regulators said there has not been an NBA December NBA trade. Will there be one this year? I don't think so. I don't think we'll see one until January because I feel like a lot of the players that could get moved are on those deals where they're not eligible to get traded until like January 1 or January 16 or whatever the CBA nerds tell me. And then let's see, Tesla said, good to see the narrative that the players not wanting to play being debunked. It's more often the medical staff. Yeah, we've talked about that before, right? Where it's very rarely the player being like, I don't want to sit, except for Kawhi. Kawhi is the one exception where it has been Kawhi quite a bit that has said those things. Anyways, that was last night's NBA action. Let's take a quick So Rare ad read break. We'll dive into some of those lineups and let's see what else we want to get into today. We'll be right back. Today's NBA Bit is brought to you by So Rare. Daily fantasy sports is annoying. Constantly paying attention to injury news, who's starting, who's sitting, and just having to remember to enter your lineups each and every day. With So Rare, you just have to enter your lineup once for each game week. And instead of having to pay an entry fee each time you enter a contest with So Rare, once you buy your cards, the tournaments are free. Each game week, you'll have a chance to win more card rewards to bolster up your roster. And this year, So Rare is introducing cash prizes. So sign up for So Rare today using the link in the description, and they'll start you with 20 free common cards. And by using our link, once you buy 5 cards from auction, they'll give you a 6th one free. So sign up for So Rare today and see if you can take down Mike Sorarian. Welcome back. All right, I'll poke around my little So Rare squads. I won a reward this week, which was exciting. It was a little, I'm happy to win a reward. I'm not going to complain because, not all of us can win. Let's look at my recent lineups here from the most recent game week. So, my rare champion, AD dropped 74, Maxey dropped 61, and it just really didn't matter. And that was a little disappointing. Giddey only had 26, basically hit his cap. I got 41 out of Ivy and 40 out of Ayton, and it shit's hard, baby. If you don't have somebody dropping like 70, let's look at the leaderboard here. First place, Ciro Miado. He had Embiid, who scored 326 points. Embiid dropped 72. You had Trey last night drop 85. Mobes gave him 71. Horford with 55, and then Igbaji with 42. I mean, it's just hard to compete with. There's Spicer, 84 from Jokic, 73 from Embiid, 76 from AD, and then DeAndre Jordan with the 57, and Justin Holiday with 33. So tough to battle out with those. But oops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's go back here. We can now scroll. That was my rare champion. My rare contender, we had Zion drop 65. I got 40 from Devin Vassell. We tried to punt with Kessler Edwards. He got me 3. Not great, Bob. Day'Ron Sharp got 20. And then Buddy Hield with 38. Woke up a little bit yesterday, which wasn't too bad. But again, we finished 1,040th. That's not gonna cut it. We'll look at my advance. We ended up with a solid game week, dropping 243. I think I finished 166 overall, so I get $35 today, baby. And then my rare underdog, who cares? This is the one that I won the reward on. So we got DeAndre Ayton here. DeAndre Ayton dropped 38. The Reggie Jackson play was the one that got it done, though. He dropped 69. Nice. Zion with a 61. We did the same thing with Kessler Edwards and Zaire Williams. So we won a tier 3 in the limited contender. I actually think I won a tier 2 with this too. This one had 78, 61, 70, but Oscar Thompson and Bruce Brown were a little disappointing. So that was my stuff this week. I was looking at some projections and trying to figure out what I was going to do this game week. And it's funny. It's kind of telling you Kyrie Irving. This is what projections tell me to play. Kyrie Irving, this is contender too. Kyrie, Giddey, Derek Jones Jr., Wesley Matthews, who I talked about it in my value hunting episode for this week, which if you haven't watched it is live over on Team Hold So Rare channel. I thought AJ Griffin was going to be kind of sneaky. I thought it was going to be a kind of a sneaky grab, and I was looking forward to grabbing him prior to last night's game, and they ended up not he got a DNP last night against the San Antonio Spurs. So I don't know what's going on with AJ Griffin. Wesley Matthews, I mean, he's not going to do anything, but he played like 16 minutes, I think. And then Trey Lyles, who's somebody I shouted out. So I'm not sure if this is exactly what I'm going to roll out there, but that's what the projections are telling me to do. So it's kind of fun. Yeah, I know, Jump Shoot. I know. But anyways, that's the So Rare stuff. I know they had a couple of announcements yesterday. That I actually found, a little disappointing. Listen, I'll start with the positive. I thought a good thing that they announced yesterday and some of their product updates is that the player list. So like play or list, not player. If you put in a lineup tonight, right, at 5:30, say you're playing Zion and Zion is popping and you sell Zion, you basically lose your lineup. So you either have to play him before the game week or sell him. You can't play him and get credit for his play while selling him over the weekend. So I think they're doing that to kind of balance out the market a little bit, which I think is good. The thing that was really disappointing, in my opinion, and maybe people disagree, I'd love to hear the other side of it. And because I had conversations with some of the people over at So Rare prior to like when they were coming up with this idea, they had mentioned, hey, what do you think about? Because they know they need to address the rare rewards. They're like, what do you think about a marketplace credit? And I was like, that's brilliant, right? So the reason less rewards are coming out is because rare specifically, they really cut down on scarcity, which is good. I think that's a good thing. But because of that, you can't give out a bunch of tier 4s and 5s every single game week because there's not as many of those cards anymore. So I love the idea of being like, listen, you finished 200th. They only gave out 175 rewards. In this rare competition, you get $20, a $20 marketplace credit. Can't cash that out. Can't go to your wallet and take it. You have to go out there and buy something. And when they brought that up to me, I said, my suggestion would be after you buy something. So say you use that $25 credit and you buy a Trey Lyles for this game week. You have to play him twice. Well, it could be in your training lineups. You have to play him for 2 consecutive game weeks. So basically a full week, a full 7 days before you list it on the marketplace, which then keeps, because what I could see happening with a credit like this, right, is you buy something immediately listed under the floor. It's like every time an NBA Top Shot pack drop happens, right? So like when they don't release all the rookies at one time, you see like a floor of 350 for Wemby, but then more Wembys come out and then people get them. They're like, oh, floor of 250 for Wemby. So, I thought that would be, I was like, okay, that's actually a pretty solid idea. What they did instead, and again, I don't know if there's some legality around it. I don't know if the NBA says no, if the United States says no, or if So Rare wants more money from auctions. What they did instead is you win a percentage off. So instead of just a straight up credit, so if I won $25, I can go buy a $25 card. You can win 25% off of X. So you still have to go out and buy something. So like what you won was having to spend more. That's a coupon. You know, I see coupons all the time. I live in New York. People just throw flyer coupons on your doorstep all the time. I don't use those. Those actually, I find those to be a nuisance. I don't like those at all. So I just think that's a huge swing and a miss. And I understand, right? If there's reasons that they can't share it, I get it. Listen, I know we've been down this. I'm not going to blame individuals or anything like that. This feels like a huge bummer. Yeah, exactly. And and maybe I'm a little shook after that Cyber Monday situation with the team holders, and just frustrated in general. But like, I just don't know why. It just feels like they misread the room. It feels like they misread the room. And I don't know, maybe they make some more adjustments based on this, but it didn't seem, again, I'll give them credit. I think the list to sell thing or whatever, but other than that, it was just kind of noise. It's just kind of noise. Let me see. I want to make sure I didn't miss any of the other announcements there. I know they did a long thread about it on Twitter as well. Let me see if I missed anything. They're doing some more special weeklies. Instant buy, and then they did another knockout round, which I don't know how you guys feel. The knockout round, they switch. I actually like that you could combine rare and limiteds in those contests. I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool that you could, because at first I thought it was a mistake, and then we talked about this. I was like, oh man, that's too bad. But then when we watched it play out, we talked about it like 4 weeks in a row. I think it was nice seeing like people with limited cards at the top of those leaderboards of the whatever. So anyways, they changed it to intermediate, rare, whatever. They added some money to it, whatever. That's it. I don't want to be like negative Nancy, but I know I'm like pretty positive about So Rare. A little nervous that I'm going down the same Top Shot path here again, but I really enjoyed playing the game. The game is like dissecting the game is super fun. It's just sometimes when people make decisions that seem to be like just way wrong. Like I don't know. Ron, let's go. Ron, you were at the top of the leaderboard at one point, but you thought it was tough for you. You thought it was tough because I thought most of the people at the top of the leaderboard were playing like 4 limiteds and 1 rares. Yeah, that's the other thing. They upped how many 2023 cards you needed. It just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to take a breath. It's too early in the morning to get worked up, you know? It's too early to be yelling. But anyways, you can go check out Value Hunting on Team Hold So Rare, live before locks at 5:30. The Underdog on Team Hold So Rare channel with TST and our friend George. And then back here, 2 p.m. for the Underdog Happy Hour. Is the constant tinkering in mechanics needed to keep users engaged? No, I don't think so. That's the thing that's crazy. The users are already very engaged. I don't think it's an apathetic, So Rare manager community. I think most of the managers really like playing the game. I think the biggest frustration they had with was with the rare rewards. I think there are two things that I heard from the beginning of the season is they were like more contests and the rare. Why did you ruin the rare contests? I didn't hear any complaints about super rare or limited, just the rare contests. And then they added this cumulative tournament, which I thought was great. More tournaments, the better. The cumulative thing was a real nice mix up. I think we really like that. But yeah, I don't know. Seems to be an L. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how people react. I'm sure it'll be like, same as Top Shot. People will complain and then just continue to play the game like myself. I'm going to work on not going down the same path where I light everything on fire on the way out and just try to focus on the content that I can control, which is live before lock and stuff like that. Joker Rock says, what is their long-term plan of needing new cards for contests? 5 years from now, we'll only be buying rookies. Sound familiar? Joker Rock, does this sound familiar? And Weisberg, I know Sneeps plugged it at the top, right? We've got playback tonight. You can find a link to that. Find a link in the show notes. Playback is tonight, and they're giving away Fresh Threads pack. Is your plan to burn all the Burges? Yeah, that is what somebody asked me. And I guess maybe it is. No, I had a meeting with So Rare yesterday. And I spoke professionally, but sternly. But I didn't burn any bridges. Although I'm sure they're not going to ask me to do anything for a while. But that's what happens. That's what happens, baby. You can't handle the truth. But I think that's it, everybody. I think we had anything else you guys want to get into? I know one bridges you can burn. Ayo, Miles. Mike is just too much integrity. I don't even know. I don't have too much integrity. What are my birthday plans? That's a good question, Regulator. I don't know. I think we're going out to dinner on Saturday, maybe. I think we'll go out to dinner. And then I'll probably last minute text like 5 friends to see if they want to get a drink. I got to tell you though, I think that's something I have to work on. Not that you guys need to hear my therapy-esque conversations. I don't like my birthday as much as I used to. I used to be like a big birthday fan. I think if I was working like a normal 9-to-5 job, like if I had a salary type career, I think I'd feel a little bit more comfortable with it. But it is something weird about turning 39 and like grinding YouTube. I'm not really freaked out about getting older. But I think like as, and maybe because like this hasn't, like we've had awesome growth, right? Like we continue to grow like quite a bit. It's great. But I'm just like waiting for someone to hand me a big bag of money, And I'm sure, you know what, if we're being honest with ourselves, even when that happens, we'll find something else to feel uncomfortable about. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I am looking forward to dinner. That'll be nice. We'll have a nice dinner. You were primed for a midlife crisis. Hate to say it. Jumpshoot, what the fuck do you think this is, my friend? This is a midlife crisis. I'm doing YouTube every single day. Not only multiple times a day. I got up this morning at 7 o'clock, made 3 YouTube shorts, downloaded some content for another video that I'm posting later today. We've got live before lock and an Underdog happy hour. That's like, we got like 4 hours of streaming content today. What are we talking about? All right. Everybody's trying to make me feel better. I appreciate it. Don't you guys worry. Everybody, I mean, we're good. We're good. I'm just, peek behind the curtain on birthday season. I don't know. Anything else you guys want to get into? Excited for we had some fun sweats last night. I finished 20th in the main Underdog drafting event last night. Also, we had a pick'em. Shout out if you guys aren't following Ship Chasing, which is Peter Overzet, Ben Gretsch, Pat Corain. They do a bunch of content, but every Thursday they do this like second stream watch for Thursday Night Football, and they release a pick'em every week, and they've been hitting most of them. It's great. So anyways, follow ship chasing. Any updates? Yeah. We should. So it's been 6 weeks. We're back up in 6 weeks. 6 weeks we'll be back up. So that's good. That'll be good. 6 weeks. And then also just a reminder too, next week. So NBA Bit will be on Monday and Tuesday, and then no content on Wednesday, Thursday. I'm going to still try to do something on Friday from Vegas. We'll have like some short form recorded stuff, but no like live stream, no typical live stream stuff, because we will be in Viva Las Vegas, which I just bought those tickets yesterday. Holy fuck. They were more expensive than I thought. They were more expensive than I thought. But we got me, Jay Catch, my pops, my dad's friend. We're going on to both semi games on Thursday, the East and the West. And then we're going to try to make somebody force me to go on Friday. I mean, on Saturday. Mercamia says you should stream the late games on Sunday or something. It's fun tilting lineups with them. Yeah, that's a good. That is a good idea. I've always thought about it, but I haven't had like a good Sunday sweat in a while. Like I've done okay, but I haven't had any like. I think if I ever have a good sweat, I will fire up a live stream. I will, but we need to have a good one. Hopefully for best ball too. Best ball, we should have a good one. Who will win the tournament? I think the Kings might. I think we're gonna get a Kings Celtics finals. Kings Celtics finals, and I think the Kings are gonna want it more. I think Trey Lyles is gonna be like, I want that $500K. Davion Mitchell is gonna like, get me that $500,000. I think that's what we're gonna see. So that's Kings Celtics, and the Kings taking it is my pick. I know some base. Oh, wait, you're talking about each other. Sorry, I missed that. Oh yeah, like the beam, baby. Lakers versus the Bing Bong Boys. That could be fun. I'm just excited the teams that are left. I'm excited to watch those teams. Also, speaking of the Bing Bong Boys, I don't know if you guys, there's a lot of Mitchell Robinson content going around that is really sweet. It's really nice. There was an interview that went around from, I believe, his high school coach, and it was and his high school coach is living with him right now. And when his high school coach's wife was sick, Mitch Rob would like go to the hospital to visit him all the time. And then after she passed away, he was like, why don't you just like come live with me for a little while and kind of get your life together again? I was like, man, that's amazing. So shut up, Mitch Rob. And then there was another story that came out because that one came out about like another nice thing that he did. So that made me root for the Knicks a little bit more. So go Mitchell Robinson. We're Mitch Rob stands in this house. All right, gang, we'll call it there. Let's call it there. Appreciate everybody tuning in to all 5 NBA bits this week. We'd love to see it. Come back at 2 p.m. Eastern for our underdog happy hour, and then 5:30 over on the Team Hold So Rare channel. For Live Before Lock, we'll give away another rare tier card as I slowly lose all of my so rare cards. Also, just go check out the Team Hold Sports channel as well. So just go click all the links. Just touch all the links. Touch them all. Touch them all. Hope everybody has a great weekend if I don't see you in the other streams. Otherwise, see you later. We out.